Hello everyone, for the next build that we're doing. So after the Blade Vortex character, we decided to do the Bleed Bow. So this Bleed Bow is a little bit different since we're not using the normal setup. So we just leveled this character today, got to level 80 on stream. So this video is right after the stream just ended. So pretty much with the build, it uses a lot of expensive gear. So the damage right now, path of building will be in the link below, description below. And also, this build came from MBX. He ran this build this league, which instead of doing, I think it's with this ascendancy. So this was the last one he did. He pretty much played it, said it was really good. I did play one of his bleed bows last league, I think, or 2 leagues ago. I forgot which league I did it in. It's a lot of fun. So I decided, we had a lot of exalts on stash. Let's just spend everything and see what we can do. So pretty much, I went all out in a currency on this. We do need to get another 15 levels or so I can be max chaos res, immune to all elements, about 50 to 60% fizz mitigation, regular resistance capped. So it's gonna be pretty strong. I'm hoping a lot of life regen once we get the levels in, because this should be close to 6k by the time we're done. About 5.5 to 6 around that number. So pretty much, if you have any questions, his video will be in the video description below. His channel is great. I would recommend him to anyone. If you have currency to spend, his builds are a lot of fun to play. So pretty much, I'm going to do a map showcase real fast. We're going to do the Ulm Rich, just because I don't have any actual maps set up yet. This is all I've been doing level. So pretty much it works like a normal bleed bow. I'll go over the gear and the gems after. So for this, to give you a heads up, you don't need Headhunter. It's not required whatsoever. I'm using Headhunter. I do have the Rasha's Coil, but I'm using the Headhunter for only one reason. I just don't have enough dexterity to use the bow without it. Because Headhunter is not good for this build at all. I wouldn't even recommend it. The damage output is so bad. Or the damage, it's about an 800, I think, difference. When I was like level 70, I think I was looking at it. So it does have a huge difference. Headhunter is just a nice item, but it's definitely, I wouldn't recommend it. So you can see the build, it's minus, if you didn't count Headhunter, the build is pretty much, it does use the ability of the Explode Chest, where it blows up the screen. I might do this, actually. And the damage is extremely strong for clearing. Because you use, it's the usual, the split arrow for clearing. And then use the puncture for a single target. The puncture right now is about, I think it's about 2.5 million. Just switch the path of building from puncture to split arrow. I think it's on split arrow right now. But you can see the difference between the two. Once I get the dexterity fix, then I'll show you the Rasha's Coil build. It'll be the exact same things, maybe a little bit slower, but it'll be a lot stronger damage-wise. It probably will push puncture over 3 million easily. Coins, we do want to pick those up. But the main thing with this build is Ensnare is your best friend. Because all your damage comes from the Ensnare. So I'll show you. So we're going to go in here. We're going to put down a snare, 3 of these, pop these flasks, and then just hit him a couple times. And then once it starts, his health is just depleting. Yeah, that's what we got. We're going to level a bit, so we don't have the damage there yet. As you can see, that snare is so important. There it goes. So yeah, it definitely was not the cleanest. Oh, we actually got money on that one. It wasn't the cleanest, but it definitely, I have to get used to the buttons on this character. I'm still used to BB. I'm not used to actually relying on a single target option. So it's not bad, actually. Then for fun, we'll just make this again. So pretty much, I won't count that skill point. I'll show you what I would put in, just so you don't see the difference. So the build does have ways to go. It's only level 80 right now, 81 now, but it still needs time. It's not ready yet for anything big. So pretty much, I'll go over the gear and I'll go over the skill. So it's pretty much your normal bleed bow, what you use. Flask is a little bit different. I use the Forbidden Taste just because it is really nice. That's why MX used it. The instant health on full health thing is really nice. Your Cinnamon Flask is just life regen. Bottle of Faith is Bottle of Faith. If you don't have a Bottle of Faith, you can use just a mana recovery that keeps going. You can use the Sulfur Flask. There's a lot of options you can use. Dying Sun is pretty much just for your 2 extra projectiles and movement speed flasks. Trinket doesn't matter really. So the bow, I crafted this one yesterday. It took a lot of exhaust to craft. You have to get a level 83 Elder Bow. Citadel is probably the best because you're probably not crit build with this one. And this one, to craft it, you just want to keep going. So I got 30% quality first with the perfects. And then you just want to use the double resonator with jagged and corroded. And just keep, they're expensive this league. Now they are, but just pretty much take those and slam the bow. And this, you want to pretty much just keep checking. Pretty much, do you have the 3 bleed mods? The 60% chance bleeding, the damage while bleeding, and the tech chance while bleeding. If you have all 3 of those, you don't really need the attacks to have 25% chance to cause bleeding. It's just, I think, it's just stuck with there. So yeah, it goes with the damage, so it just go together. And then that with the fizz damage. If you can have a nice percentage of increased fizz damage on there, that's the best bow you can get. I got real lucky with this one. This one had the top 4 with I think it was a bad fizz roll on there, or it was a cold roll, I forgot what it was, so I just annulled it off and I got real lucky. So I just multi-minded it and kept it like this, at least have something. And I just slammed Divines on it until I got at least over 120. We'll do the gems actually. So the gems, it's anonymous split arrow, just to give you the 1 extra projectile. So you're just firing 10. When you put this one, you're shooting 12 arrows. You can clear the whole screen out so fast, which is what you saw happen in there. And then it's the Awaken Brutality, Awaken Chain, Awaken Fork, your Awaken Vicious Projectile, and Awaken Deadly Elements. If you don't need the Awaken versions. If you don't have the Awaken versions, you can definitely check out MBX's video. He actually doesn't have the Awaken ones, but he has what you would want to use instead of that. But the Anonymous, the Divergence, and all that, it would be easier to explain it that way instead of me trying to number all that. I do have his path of building, but it's just not. It's hard to explain like that. So the helmet, vitality 30% reduce. Get it on a royal. You want armor. So any type of helmet that gives you good armor, I would go for that one. And if you can get an Elder base, you can get the -9 fizz. I couldn't find any on the market, so I ended up just going with the regular one for now, just to have something. And pretty much I crafted this myself, just by pretty much just... what did we do how to craft it? Oh, I think we were just alt spamming it to finally get something. Alt spamming it, whatever. We're just doing whatever we can to get something good. So this one, it's pretty much... Main thing you want to look for is life, resistance, and open suffix, I think. And an open suffix, you can craft a 25% chance to avoid elements. If you can get armor, that's good. And I just Exalted Slam, a shitty rarity item, which sucks, but it's doable for now. The Quiver. So Quiver, you want a Hunter base. Broodhead is the best because it gives you fizz damage on top of it. And then I would recommend at least 1 resistance, since resistance is a huge problem with this build. Get at least 1 resistance, fizz damage over time. If you can, get the fizz damages to attacks. It does help out a lot too. And either life on it or craft a life. I would recommend you... I made the mistake. This is why I have to use this, because I don't have enough decks to use this, because I'm short 13 decks. I would recommend getting a good dex roll somewhere on your gear. Because you need at least 32, I think. 35, I would say at the most. 35 roll to... Yeah, I can only get to 22, so I can't get to it. I at least recommend a 35 dex somewhere on your gear. That's not including this. 24%. Just so that you can not have to worry about using Headhunter. So you can actually use a... the Raja's Coil. I just don't have anywhere to put it all unless I buy all new stuff, which is going to cost a lot. So the big thing with this build is intelligence and dexterity are going to be your biggest problems. So so the amulet is Torcus, just because it gives you dex and intelligence. And then your nurse anointing, the discipline and training, it's a black and 2 silver. It's just so that you can get it's over here. This one. 30 to life and 10% all life. Or max life. It's just more life. And then pretty much the only thing on here you want is Malevolence with at least a 25. And just put life and mana mod on it to put up to 30. You need it pretty much. You have to get to 30 to have any type of mana pretty much for your skills. And then the global crit strike doesn't mean anything. It's just the only thing that was on the market. Life roll is super helpful. And then this one, if you can get the added fizz on it, that's even better. I just couldn't find anything on the market. Because originally this was supposed to be a resistance amulet, but I got lucky and I was able to fix my resistance. So I didn't need to get resistance, so I just put that. And with non-channeling skills, -10, it does help a lot. There's 2 of them on here. Because you can increase that number with the life and mana roll. So it boosts up from 9 to 10. It does help out reducing this by 20. You can run one of them, but it's really going to be hard when you're trying to do this. So you get 4 shots if you have 2 of them, instead of only 1 or 2. So it's quality of life. So the 2 rings, you ideally will want 1 vermin ring and 1 2 stone ring. I would recommend on one of these 2 to get the cursed enemies with vulnerability. So it's actually a really good. When I put the ring on, I realized how good it was. You're gonna want to get it though on a 2 stone. It's a lot cheaper than the Vermilion. You're looking at a massive amount of exalt difference. Because I think when I was trying to get this one, it was super hard to get vulnerability with any good stats at all. So main thing you want to look for is on at least something is fizz damage to attacks, life, resistance is huge, and an open prefix to craft the non-channeling. If you get chaos resistance, that's even better because you're not gonna have any chaos resistance on this build whatsoever. So if you can at least get some, it does at least push it to positive. It'll help you a lot. And the other ring, and one of these rings, you need to make sure you have intelligence, a high number, because you're only gonna run about 113. You need about, I think it's 90 to use anything in the game, any of your gear. If I'm correct on numbers. I think so, is it 90? 100 actually. So you need at least 100 intelligence to use 21 malevolence. If you're using that, or at least a 96 if you're using all 4 in light, which you do need. So anywhere between 96 to 100 on your intelligence. So, and then pretty much I just looked for any type of resistance and crafted life. That's all I really looked for when I was looking for a ring. The chests, there's a lot of different options you go with this. Pretty much the explode is the only thing you really care about. Resistance, armor. Armor is really good because you're pretty much going to be looking at trying to get your fizz damage reduction up as high as possible. You should average around 50% to 60% on this build. It's just getting everything to actually do it. So on here, you don't need the Frenzy. Instead of Frenzy, if you want minus mana cost, percentage of life, there's a lot of options you go with. It's pretty much whatever you feel comfortable with. Since I had the double -10 on here, I didn't need the chest with the -15. And then, I mean, the percentage life would have been a nice one with like 100 life on it and crafting the mana as life, I think, or energy shield, whatever it's called. Or life and mana, I think, is the good one, 8%. That would have been a good one too. But for this one, this was something I found in the market. It's not even 30% quality, which I'm not a fan of. But it's something to have at least start. And it's pretty much resistance and that kind of stuff. Crafting this color-wise is a pain in the ass. Give you a heads up now. You pretty much, the only way to get this is you're going to have to use the bench recipe for the 3 green one. This one. It took me, I think, 5 tries to get for the 4 and 2 split. Worst case scenario, if you end up with a 5 and 1, you can at least just switch the weapons. You can switch the gems between the 2. As a worst case scenario. Because this one's a lot easier to get the red and then this. And the green on instead of this one is easier than this. We don't need that, actually. And then, oh yeah, I forgot to go over the helm gem. So the helm gems, I forgot real fast. It's Anonymous Main, Anonymous Ensnaring Arrow, Ballista Totems, and you don't need 21, 23. It was 10 chaos, so I just bought it for to be funny. And then Divergent Greater Multi Projectile. It's just pretty much to boost your Ensnaring Arrow totem. You don't. That's why you don't really need this up there in level. It's pretty much a 20/20 is plenty. And the chest piece, it's pretty much the opposite of this one. This is just split. Either one of these is split arrow, and the other one is the puncture. So this one's the 21/23 puncture, Awaken Swift Affliction, Awaken Vicious Projectile. A lot of repeating same gems. Chance to bleed for your more damage. Awaken Brutality, Awaken Deadly Elements. Well, so gems do repeat. The only difference really between the two is just the split and puncture, and the Brutality versus the fork, and then chain, I guess, technically. So that's a couple differences. A lot of them you're going to run the same. So that's why you don't have to get Awaken. You can just get 120, level 120 gems, and level up that way. And then so the boots, I would pretty much just look for, so when I was looking for these, I didn't even know they were 35% movement speed. I didn't even see that until actually maybe an hour ago. You don't really, it's not the biggest deal. But pretty much the only thing you care about is the 30% chance to avoid elements. Because if you don't have, you can technically do this two ways doing this. If you don't have the boots, the Shaper boots, and you want to go cheap route and just skip that thing, you can get one of these instead. So this was my original plan. Since you can get the small cluster jewel with the elegant form that has the exact same thing, has 30% chance. It just costs you 5 skill points to put it on. This one just saves you 5 skill points. That's the only difference really. But you have to get it on the gloves too. So in the future I might end up taking the gloves. That's why I have the other gloves here. This was my original gloves to use, which are better damage wise. About only a little bit though, not much. A little bit more health. But pretty much this one just has 20. They both have the same thing. This one just has the element alignments. This one doesn't. This one's just more damage. So on the boost, like the only thing you care about really is get that. You can technically look for the 23. Get a 23 one and just throw divines on it to get the 30. That's what I did. And then you just look for at least a 30% movement speed, and just look for resistance. That's only in craft life or opposite. Have life on there and craft another resistance. That's the only thing I'd recommend. Headhunter I'm not going to talk about just because it's just because I don't have enough dexterity. Rasha's Coil is so much better. Just because your damage while leveling, I think I was testing both of them while I was leveling the whole time. Rasha's Coil kept giving me about 800 more damage, and I noticed the difference between how fast I was killing things with the Coil versus the Headhunter. Headhunter is not needed for this build whatsoever. I'll probably end up, once I fix my dex, I'll probably sell the Headhunter. And then the boots, the gems, Divergent Vitality, it gives you a huge damage boost and regenerate life per second. It's really nice, but very expensive. Divergent Malevolence for more skill effect duration and damage over time. Anonymous Pride for the chance to inflict bleeding, which doesn't really matter too much. But also, your enemies take 20% more damage. Just the bleeding. And you do need the light in level 4, give you a heads up. It is expensive, but it's really required because you're so starved on your mana. And that's pretty much it. Gloves, just look for an open suffix and just get your resistance that you need, get life, and just try to get fizz damage over time. If you can't afford fizz damage over time multiplier, just get the physical damage to attacks high roll. It's doable if you don't have the currency. You can do that on here. You can do that on the bow. You can just look without the fizz damage to roll in the middle. There's a lot of options you can go if you want to go cheaper route. And then pretty much this one. So you're pretty much playing the Ascendancy. So pretty much I just went straight for the Fortified. So once you have this, you get 20% less damage taken from hits at all times. More armor. Cannot be stunned ever. Increased attack speed is really nice. You have your Inspiration, which is permanent, which your banner doesn't cost any mana. That's why you can run That's why you run all 4 of these. It's just because of the mill banner. And then pretty much you get more movement speed on top of that, so it's really nice. And this was the last one I took just for the taunt. So then you pretty much, all enemies you pretty much taunt pretty much. So you always have a damage reduction, so it's really nice. It's more of a defensive route. If you don't want to play this route, you can always play the other one. Just for the more bleed damage. You'll do a lot more damage, but it doesn't have fortified. It depends on what route you want to take. Both options are extremely strong. And then pretty much it's your normal bleed, your normal stuff. You go for here for 20% avoid elements. So you have 25 on the gloves, 25 on the helmet. That's 50. And here's 70. So you need another 30. That's why you can either do the small, you do the small thing right here, small cluster jewel right here for 30% to get 100, or you have the shaper boots for 100. It's really up to you which one. Shaper boots is a much better option, but it's more expensive. And if you have a dexterity problem, you can always pick up a dex node right here. I might do this in the future. I'll talk about this later. And right pretty much it's Might of the Meek just to boost the dex from here, the strength, intelligence. Boost your health right here. This one too, make sure this one's gonna be good to get. I'll get this one later. And it's pretty much like your normal. You want to get this when you start getting all your auras on, like around the 72 mark. You want to make sure you have this for the 4% reduce. Life going up this way. This one I gotta get late. I'll get later for more armor. This one is your Lion's Eye Fall. It's extremely good with the amount of stuff it punches all of this. It doesn't do this one, but you want this one just for the extra 30% more damage. More bleed. These two, this one's really nice for the max fire resistance +1 plus life. This one, if you need resistance, right here too. So we are playing Resolute Technique, so that's why we don't have crit. That's why we don't run Tailwind. So then this is why our hit's gonna be evaded, so it's guaranteed hit. It's really nice. More effect on Curse. This one's really nice too, Life Node. Watcher's Eye. So the Watcher's Eye, if you can afford it, I would say get it. If you can't afford it, just skip this whole section right here. So the Watcher's Eye, the two things you want on here is unaffected by bleeding while having Malevolence on, so you have corrupted blood. And then life recovery rate while affected by vitality percentage. I got lucky and this was actually a double vitality. This was the only one in the market, so I just picked it up. This one when I actually had the Malevolence and vitality together. So this one was really nice. This one gives you a massive life recovery. So your life recovery, I don't think it calculates on this though, so you can't really see it. Because on here it only shows I have 461, but I believe this is actually higher. It just doesn't show it on the calculation. And like this is what you know it. Pretty much it. Oh yeah, let's go about the fun jewel. So this jewel is not fun to get. So it is an Elegant Hubris. They are very cheap. They're like 5 chaos. But you're gonna spend a lot of divines. So pretty much what you're looking for. So that's why this whole section right here, between here, these two, the 3, the 2, don't put any points on those. Only put a points on it however you need them. Once you keep transferring them. The things you're looking for is 50% the Jeff Ross N, the 50% increased damage while bleeding, and bleeding deal inflict damage with blaster. I got lucky, I got 3 of them. So that's why I have all 3 of these right here. And then I got a attack speed one, which is nice. And then I also got really lucky and I got a double chaos resistance here. So that's why I'm going to have max chaos resistance pretty soon. When I do it, I'll tell you what I'm going to do next. So if you don't have these, there's other option you go with. There's things you want to look for is you want at least 2 of these. These are extremely important. If you can get at least 1 of these, that's really nice. This one isn't as needed. There's a 10% life, I think, based on what I remember. I think there's a big life roll. Oh, I can't look. I look on POB. So, but yeah, there's a life one you can get. There's a, I think it's about power charge and endurance charges and stuff like that. I know that one's really nice. So there's a lot of options. It depends. I would just pretty much pull it up, take it out, divine it, put in, see, look around, look between here, these two, this one, these two, this one, and these ones on top, and this one right here. Don't look at anything down here. It's not worth it. Because I don't think I even got it down here. Resistance, mana regen. This one's not bad either if you get this one up there too. But no, I don't think I even got it. Resistance, evasion rating. It's not bad either, but... So no, I don't have it actually. No. So yeah, there's a lot of options you can go with this one. It's a pain in the ass to get. It cost me, I think, 15 divines to get this one. I got real lucky. Because this one normally can cost a lot more. So then I think, yeah, like our next skill point, we're probably going to go this way just to get all of these. Actually, no, we're going to go there. So what I'm going to do now, the reason why I'm going this way, is so as I have this for my BB character. Not this one. Wait, where is it? Is it this one? 5% with 25. I think it's that one. So yeah, I believe it's this one, I'm correct. Yeah, this is 17 to 21 one. So I'm going to use this for my last character. This is the one I had on my other build, the 21 chaos resistance on each one. So I'm going to use this one. So it cost me still 5 points because I need 2 of them. I need 2 of the noise to get 42% more. So that would pretty much give me max chaos resistance too. So that's what I'm going to work on next. Oh shoot, hold on. Keep. So that's what I'm gonna put for now. Eventually later I might move my gear around so I can put this one back on. So I can fix this up, switch the gloves out, all that. So pretty much that's where it's at right now. It's only level 81, so we have plenty of time to go. And just make sure you put your molten shell on your life click, so whenever you move, you always have molten shell up. It's a quality of life, that's all it is.
I can't do this just yet.
And that's pretty much it. And then pretty much I'm just leveling gems so I can try to complete the challenge for the getting a 21-20. That's why this is all that's leveling right now. 9 to 9, 9 split arrows. So I might have bought all the market split arrows. So if you need split arrows, I might have some. So that's it pretty much build. I'm gonna it's actually around a lot of 30 minutes on this video, which I didn't expect. So I'm gonna cut the thing here. POB will be linked in below. If you have any questions, let me know. Then I'm gonna pretty much cut it. I'll see everyone on the next video. If you like what, if you have any questions, come see me on Twitch too. Ask questions. Check out MBX for any his way he explains the builds. Thank you. I'll see you on my next video.